Mid week chat. I done told y'all, boy, today this is gonna be a banger of a midweek chat, man. Me and the boy turn back in the building. Man, Monday show. I told you it was gonna be a quick one, but man, now we head into Wednesday. What a day it is. I heard it was hailing, doing some crazy stuff in Knoxville yesterday, bro. What's the deal?
Bro, it's pretty insane. I ain't even gonna lie.
You
Uh,
got
dude,
time?
dude sent
I'm
me a
talking
video. So I live up in the middle of nowhere, but I'm a long way from
nowhere.
home. But dude sends me a video. He's like, "Hey, it's hell at the house right now," and I was like, "Oh no!" So I freak out. Honestly, I call my wife like, "Hey, where you at? You at home?"
Look, hey, luckily the boat ain't outside. You would have left your route.
Hey, it's inside. It's in the garage. Feel me?
hey, hey, y'all, man, it's gonna be a banger show. We got the boy Gibbs High School, Tennessee volunteer. The boy Ollie Lane joins the show today. And man, we're just gonna get to know about Ollie, man, but also talk about like a whole lot of different elements. Like, why did he stay home? Why did he pick the University of Tennessee? Moving into, hey, we're gonna hit a little gas or trash with the boy as well. And then we're going to talk about the camp a little bit, about what's coming up in literally 2 weeks. Crazy,
Two
crazy.
weeks.
2 weeks, man. Crazy impact on the Gibbs community. Crazy impact in Knoxville in general. I think it's going to be a great event. But you already know what it is, man. It's the boys from straight up Tennessee. It's the midweek chat. And it's time to get it rolling. You already know what it is, man. It's straight up Tennessee, baby. It's the midweek chat.
It's the Northander, sets the race onto the field. The finals will be boring the giant sea that stretches from that north inbound on a cold day, becoming Lando as the big orange sets the race on the Shield Buskins Field, ladies and gentlemen, and wherever you are.
Yo. Thank y'all, man, for rocking with us today. It's Wednesday, man. Y'all know what to do at the top of the show. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, man, so you never miss a video. We have surpassed 550 subs. I'm telling y'all, we already said 1K by UT Virginia, period. Like, if we don't hit 1K by then, we might end the show forever. We're gonna end it. Like, it's just over. Nah, I'm just messing. Y'all know we can't quit. But we're on the way to 1K, man. I cannot believe what, bro? It's been 7 months now?
It's funny.
Dang.
It's funny how it started too. The whole thing. We literally
Great,
on
the
the
whole
phone today.
show, man.
Hey, bro, we talk about it all day anyway. Why not talk about it in a podcast? Let's put it on
That's
YouTube.
it. That's it. Years in the making to just finally say, all right, let's spend some money and let's do this thing. So, man, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we're glad you're rocking with us. Continue to rate this thing 5 stars. And let people know why they need to be rocking with the boys as well, man. I think we're seeing a whole lot of positive response on both platforms. But man, the people listening on Apple, man, we got people listening in France, bro. What?
France, bro.
We know
Who
who it is, but it's still somebody that lives in France. You know
I
what
was
I'm
gonna
saying?
say,
Like, it's
yeah.
lit. Shout out to the boy Sale, man. He is still over there playing ball. He gets to come home in the next couple months. I think they actually in the finals, bro. Like, think about that.
Oh, really?
I think they're in the whatever league he's playing in over there. They are in the finals. But yeah,
Hey,
man. So
speaking of the overseas league, you see Dwight Howard. This is way off topic. You see Dwight Howard trying to get people to come overseas and play.
oh, yeah, that boy Doc Rivers got fired today or Tuesday, and he's like, Doc, we need a primetime coach in Taiwan. I'm like, this is a mess, bro. Like, what? But y'all, man, what a show we have in store, man. We've got Ollie Lane, uh, offensive lineman for the University of Tennessee Volunteers. Man, he is a red shirt senior. Gosh, it feels like he just got there, but it's over. Like it's literally last year, I think. And so, straight from Knoxville, Gibbs community out there in Coreyton, Tennessee, played high school. We all three played at that high school. But man, we're gonna bring Ollie on here in just a second, just to let him share a little bit about his story. And like I said, man, we got a great show ahead with him. I'm gonna let him kind of share his heart for his camp at the end of the show. But without further ado, man, we're gonna bring Ollie on now. Ollie, what's up, my guy?
Sir.
Oh, no, you all good?
Man, can't complain, bro. Again, man, we're so glad to have you. Excited and honored that you would spend some time with two dudes who ain't the media. You hear me? We say this on every show. Like, listen, we love that people come and listen to us, but listen, you ain't gonna get all the beautiful photoshopped and cropped, all that Vol Quest stuff. You're just gonna get the raw, real two crazy dudes who just love Tennessee sports.
Man, that's good stuff right there.
Man, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, bro. Man, Ollie, man, as we start the top of the show, man, like just let the people know a little bit about yourself. Just talk about your journey. Talk about, when you start playing ball. Just kind of start there, man. We'll just keep unpacking that.
All right. I started playing football at a very young age. I think I was in kindergarten when I first started playing, and when I was growing up over in Clinton, there was no like flag football starting leagues or anything like that. Like it was straight. I've never played a down of flag football. Actually, it's always been straight tackle football. I've never known a different life other than full padded practices and games and stuff like that. So, I've been playing since kindergarten. With my dad moving around jobs and stuff like that when I was at an earlier age, kind of bounced around a little bit. In the third grade, I think, is when we finally moved to where we live now. And I started playing football in the Gibbs youth community out there, the GYAA, Rueton Athletics.
Hey, shout out Gibbs Rueton Park, boy. I ain't been there since like 2012. Shout out to Rueton.
It ain't changed a bit.
No, hey, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I played out there for a long time. Ended up going all the way through the high school there, playing all 4 years for Coach Conley. After Hunter went through, one of my favorite seasons of football ever was my freshman year. I got to play with Hunter, my older brother, who was a senior that year. And I think my favorite game from that season, we were playing Anderson County, and we both got a sack in the same game. And it was a pretty fun moment because he was out there on the field when I got my first career sack, and just the celebration and stuff after was a lot of fun. But going through high school, especially at Gibbs, is a very small and unique community. But yeah, we still play 5A ball. So, I mean, we're playing all the bigger schools in the Knoxville community. And so I had a decision my sophomore year if I wanted to move somewhere that would have had bigger, I guess, notoriety or attention than Gibbs was getting at the time, to maybe try to get a bigger college scholarship somewhere, because my brother had just gotten a scholarship to Austin Peay State University. And it was the first kind of time that I thought that, well, maybe this actually playing a sport could pay off in the long run of getting me free school or something like that. I never knew it would get to the point that it has gotten to now. But then again, so I decided to just stay at Gibbs because I was like, if I'm going to get picked up or recruited by anybody, it's going to happen here because we're playing everybody. So everybody's going to see me regardless if they're looking Gibbs High School or not. And so going through my sophomore year, I had a really good season. And going into that summer of my junior year, I started doing a lot of camps. And right in the middle, I think it was like 2 or 3 games into my junior season, I got my first scholarship offer from Vanderbilt. And then they all just kind of rolled in from there. I was getting offers.
Praise God you didn't go to Vanderbilt, though.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
I will say Vanderbilt was very high on my list because they were the first ones to kind of notice me.
I get it. It's like that, like, dang, man, like y'all saw me type vibe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and that's a dope first offer too.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, because I'm going on a visit there on the way to my brother's game, and I'm thinking, well, I mean, they just want to see me and talk to me. It's a junior day, just a bunch of recruits coming in. And then they pulled me aside and my family and told me they were offering me a scholarship. I was like, I did not expect this at all from this weekend. Like, I just started talking to you this week, but you guys had your minds before it even came.
Was this when Mason was there?
Yeah, it was when Derek. I used to get Derek Mason used to text me on Twitter before every game my senior year. He would send me a direct message on Twitter, like a motivational quote or something every before every game.
See,
You
dude,
know,
there's so much in the recruiting stuff that
yeah,
I never got to see.
yeah.
Like, that's
I
crazy.
mean, there's so many different coaching personalities and people out there, but I mean, that's the one thing I liked about the recruiting process is I got to meet and talk to a lot of different people that still have left a mark on my life.
Yeah.
If the coaches or stuff that recruited me really remember, because I mean they go through so many people each year just talking to different recruits and getting people to come to their school. But that's the one thing about the recruiting process is you just get so many connections and relationships with people that you build throughout a 2-year process of deciding where you want to go to school at.
Yeah, man. That's wild, bro. So, oh, man, there's so many places we can take this. But obviously, man, you go to Gibbs, you graduate high school. What was that? 2017 you graduated?
I graduated technically the class of 18, but I had left a semester earlier
Right.
to go to college. Or, you know.
So during your senior year, obviously, I mean, the offers are flooding in, bro. Like, I can only imagine how many people are reaching out to you, how many visits you went on, or how many you turned down.
Yeah.
You know, why Tennessee? And at the time, obviously, Coach Pruitt just came into Knoxville. Like, why Tennessee? And why'd you choose? And why did you feel like it was best to stay home?
So when I first getting recruited by Tennessee, of course, it was Butch Jones that was recruiting me, and I had built a really good. I built a really good relationship with Coach Jones and his coaching staff at Tennessee. And honestly, like living 15 minutes from campus, like it was a dream scenario to be able to get to play there. I've been a Tennessee fan for a majority of my life.
Yep.
And so when I think that was like the 2017 season was his last season there. And I had already committed to Tennessee before my senior season started because I just kind of wanted to focus on playing football my last year than worrying about where I was going to play next year. And so they have the season that they do. Coach Jones gets let go from his job, and they bring in Coach Pruitt. And I got the opportunity to go on a couple of recruiting visits before I officially signed to kind of get to know Coach Pruitt and his staff and who he was bringing in. And out of all the options, it kind of felt like the best to me because I was coming into that January early enrollee class. And so I was going to get day one Pruitt coaching the same day that everybody else was going to get day one that was already at Tennessee. So, I mean, like, almost to me, it was like it didn't matter if there was senior, junior, sophomore coming in from Tennessee already. As a freshman, I was in the same position that they were because nobody knew anybody. Everything's new. There's no set in stone plays, anything like that. Like, I was going to learn everything at the same pace that everybody else was going to learn everything. And so that's kind of why I came. Tennessee at the time was very low on offensive linemen. I think my first spring there, we only had 9 offensive linemen to fill out 3 rotations of plays in a rep plan. So it was a very exciting spring. It's funny looking back at it now because me and Jerome Carvin came in together, and now with Jerome leaving, it's pretty funny because we went from playing next to each other on the side of the ball when we first got here to play next to each other on the side of the ball all of the previous season before last season and some of this season. We played next to each other. It was his connection, me and him, we have a pretty good connection. It's been great to kind of like go through college with somebody.
Yeah.
And kind of see how like both sides grow from being put into a different system, going through a coaching loss, and then coming out on the other side as Orange Bowl champions. I think there's a really good clip from the Orange Bowl video reel that they put together for after the game of just a clip of me and Jerome hugging, and you can see the emotions between us. You know, we've been through the whole thing with being one of the worst teams in the SEC to winning 3 games in COVID, playing football during all that, to now being on the back end of it, of winning a Orange Bowl against Clemson, being able to play and beat like 3 of the last 4 national champions in a season, going 11-2 for like the first time in a long time. So, I mean, it's been quite a ride to be able to kind of go through it all. But I mean, I've experienced almost anything that a Tennessee athlete could experience. It feels like.
Literally like rags to riches, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
bro, we've been through it. We ain't even been playing, and we feel you, bro. We
Yeah.
feel you. Man, like you kind of brought it up in turn. If you have any questions in this first segment, bro, pipe in. But you brought it up a little bit, and I kind of wanted to ask you just from your point of view. You know, I know a lot of people at the university, people that have played. I'm still really good friends with them, but they've never went through what this. I feel like your class and the class a little bit older than you went through with the coaching change from
Yeah.
Coach Pruitt to Coach Heupel. And obviously, man, like I've heard a lot about Coach Heupel just from the way he truly is who he is. Like he's not changing. He's just the same dude. Like, did you ever think about leaving in that transition, or was that not even an option? And how has it been since? Obviously now, hey, we heading into year 3. The expectations for the team are, I mean, Lord have mercy. I think there's this massive spotlight on Tennessee, and well deserved. I mean, bro, we did things last year that, I mean, wow, right? And so, just coming back to the original question is like, what was the transition like? Did you ever think about leaving? And now that you stayed through it, like, what has that been like, adapting and kind of shifting into this new era, really, of Tennessee football?
I don't know. I definitely there was a lot of thoughts of leaving. Obviously, me and Coach Bruno's staff, like there wasn't real good of a gel there. Um, and obviously, I wasn't getting any time on the field, and I kind of just felt like my wheels were kind of just spinning in place. I wasn't moving anywhere.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely some real thought of leaving. But once Coach Pruitt got fired, it just kind of seemed of a thing where it was like, well, now I'm going to sit and wait and see who we get, because I don't want to miss an opportunity to actually be a playmaker at the place that I wanted to come to originally.
Mm-hmm.
I had made it this far. I mean, I was like a semester, maybe a year left from getting my undergraduate degree. And so I was like, well, I'm going to finish it out here, and I'm going to see who we bring in and play the spring out with this coaching staff and see kind of where I fall with their favor. And, Coach Heupel came in, and he's been real since day one. And he's a super down-to-earth guy, great to talk to. I have a good relationship with him, and I have a really good relationship with Coach Ellerby, my offensive line coach. And that's just kind of like what helped me kind of stay true to it and really reaffirm my faith into being what it means to be a Tennessee Volunteer, because they come in and they treat you like adults every day. So you're an athlete, you're 18, so now I'm 23 years old, still playing football. And it's just, I like the atmosphere that we have, where we're going and where things are headed. Everything has gotten more and more, it's all accountability based. Everybody is accountability based. Everything is, you're making sure that not only you're doing the right thing, but you got 10 to 12 other guys in your position group doing the right thing. And I think that's kind of like something that we didn't have before. Is there's a lot more awareness of guys looking out for other guys, and
Yeah.
we're coming together of a team through this kind of leadership and mentality that this coaching staff has brought in. And it's something that I'm glad to be a part of, and decided to continue to be a part of it this year, taking my COVID year. Just because I don't want to miss out on something exciting happen. It seems like with every snap of the ball, we're doing something exciting, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of. And I can only imagine the heights that the future of Tennessee is going to come. And for me, it feels really good to just be able to go out this last year, give it everything I got, and leave this place knowing that it's going to be in a lot better hands than it was when I first got here.
That's fact.
100%.
Man, I got a fanboy question. Mine has nothing. I mean, it has to do with football, but like nothing with the coaches or anything like that. Man, sitting up in the stands, I get cold chills when y'all run through the tee. What's it like running through that tee? Packed out like Alabama last year, like Florida.
I mean, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. This is probably one of my favorite things about a game day, the ball walking and running through the tee. I think my favorite time running through the tee was 2021, the night game against Ole Miss.
Oh, that was crazy.
When the
was
orange lights came on,
the
ooh.
first time that we had really gotten to run out of the tee at night with the new light show and everything, and like all the lights went off, the orange lights went on the tee, and the fireworks started going off. It was so loud. It was one of the craziest experiences that I've ever had. 'Cause, I mean, you run out of the tee and like your entire feels like you're just kind of like watching over yourself running through the tee with the amount you can't hear anything next to you. You got the band just sitting here blaring their instruments and stuff like that. Like you're just running for the sidelines and ready for a big game.
Man, that's
it's
people probably think I'm crazy too, because like I remember that Ole Miss game like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, the lights go dark, orange lights come on, y'all start running. If people were looking at me, bro, I had tears rolling down. No, I ain't gonna lie. I'll admit that I was so hot. I was so up. Man,
but
ain't nothing like it.
See, we're getting ahead of it, man. Part 2, we're gonna talk more just ball experiences and things like that. But since we're on this topic, I gotta ask you this, bro. I have to ask you this. Me and Turnby, we debate this at least once a show. Like when we start talking about football, we debate this question. You were on the field for both, so you really. So okay, better environment. 2021 Ole Miss or beating Bama at home this past year?
No, I mean, definitely beating Bama at home. I remember I had looked up after we made the field goal. I was celebrating with the kicker, and then I looked around and I was like, where the hell did all these people come from? It took me, no joke, from where we kicked the field goal, it took me about an hour and a half to get all the way back to the locker room, just wading through crowds of people. Everybody's like, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture here? Try my cigar. You just like, I'm just going to take my time and enjoy it.
See, I think from a player's perspective, it has to be I mean, bro, like that dude, that whole game was, man, we'll talk about it. But
yeah,
I always say, like, dude, as a fan, bro, how hostile that Ole Miss game was crazy, bro. I felt like
I had a whole Bud Light like thrown at me, and I was like, "I'm on your side."
Bro,
like,
dude, from warm-ups, bro. Like when Lane took a step on the field, it was over with. It was over. I just was like, dude, this is how like he thought he was just gonna have a cordial, just hey, we gonna coach, bro. Like the student section was on his neck all night.
I mean, that's how it should be. I mean, the way that he left us all those years ago, it was just
God, man.
Never really sorry. That one never got across.
Oh man, look, y'all, if you are just now tuning in, we got Ollie Lane, offensive lineman for the University of Tennessee, joining us today. Right now, man, it's a good time to break and really head into part 2 of the show, man. We're gonna talk about all the experiences, environments. We're gonna do a little gas or trash with the man Ollie. And so man, we'll be right back. But before we hop on, man, before we move on to part 2, we got to thank our sponsor in Whitehead Auto Sales. Man, Whitehead Auto Sales is absolutely killing the game in the Blount County community. If you need a used car, man, hit up Andy, hit up Nick. Give them a call, man. Shoot them an email. Go to their website, whiteheadautosales.com. New inventory updating every single week. We'll be right back with part 2. We back. Part 2, man, of the midweek chat here with Ollie Lane, man. If you missed part 1, man, go ahead and rewind. I know a lot of people always like to, half the people that watch the show, that's thousands of you. Half of y'all ain't subscribed. First of all, that's an issue. And then second of all, y'all like to skip to like 17, 18 minutes. You done missed all the goodies. Go back. What are you doing? Okay. But man, part two, man, we're just gonna talk about just ball, straight Tennessee stuff, like environments. We got a few questions, but I think, man, the conversation is just gonna kind of open up a little bit. But so you redshirted your freshman year.
Yes.
Obviously COVID happens, everybody gets that extra year. Was it a no-brainer? Like, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much I mean, I had gone into last season, technically my redshirt senior year, and I was going into that whole season thinking it was gonna be my last year. And then we had the success that we had, and I've seen the opportunity kind of open up for me to kind of get a bigger role with the team this coming season. So it was like, well, I mean, it makes no sense not to come back because I mean, I still got aspirations to do a pro day, try out, and try to make it on a squad somewhere. And so, I mean, the best possible opportunity for that to happen would be to come back this season and have a successful year, to be able to just kind of get enough material, film, and stuff like that together to send to the next level and be like, hey, this is why I believe I should play at this level. And having that kind of like backing that film to really back it up from another successful season and hopefully a team-wide successful season will be huge for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of that, man, 2021, I felt like, first of all, for us to win to win like 7 games in 21, I think we were all like, dang, okay. Like we this gonna be crazy. But all the injuries and then you getting a lot of opportunity to really showcase like, hey, I really am like that. Like I really can do this. I can remember when you came in, gosh, bro, what was it? Was it the Pittsburgh game in
Uh,
21?
the Bowling Green game, I came in like the second quarter, and then ever since then played
Yep.
the season.
And I mean, I can remember the injuries after injuries, and I just remember every time I was like, that boy Ollie in there working. So like, obviously 21 gives you more, like you gain confidence, right? You're like, yo, I really can do this. Like I really can. And it's not that you couldn't, but I just think there was so many different coaching staffs, and you never got the opportunity to truly showcase what you could do. Coach Heupel gets here, you get some clock in 21. It continues in the last year.
Yeah.
I mean, sky's the limit, I feel like, in 23, man. Like there's no reason why I feel like, I mean, wow. And people are so right now, like friends, family, they're like, how you think we're gonna be? How you think we're gonna be? I'm like, honestly, I feel like we got better. Like, and it's scary. Like, it's weird to say that, but I'm like, we lost so much with Jalen and Hendon and all of these things. But I'm like, we added, like, we got better.
That's the thing with college football is you're going to deload a roster every now and then, but you're also going to reload it at the same time. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is you get used to all these familiar faces playing for 2 to 3 years for your team, and what you don't realize is behind the scenes there's a whole reloading process happening of new people coming in, getting trained up, kind of looking at the older people, see what they're doing, to be able to be thrown in there that next year to pick it up like it never left. I mean, that's how you have the Alabamas in the world, is because, I mean, they're constantly reloading their roster. They know what they got now, but they're looking at what they're going to have 5 years from now at the same time.
Right.
That's fast.
You've been at Tennessee for a while, man. Who is, and this could be somebody on the roster that was on our team, but who is the best one-on-one, you versus that defensive lineman? Like, who has been the best player you played against?
I don't know. I've played against a lot of really good talent on our defensive line. I mean, I can go back. I mean, my freshman year when I didn't know anything, I was having to block guys like Shy Tuttle every day, which was not always. And then, I mean, I've blocked Jonathan Kongbo. I've had to block Darrell Taylor multiple times. Henry Toa when he was with us. I mean, Daniel Batuli. There's a bunch of guys that I've had to kind of go against. But one of the guys that's always just been like one of the hardest, like a one-on-one kind of setup to beat is big Elijah Simmons. I mean, monster. I mean, you think you get a good set on him and you set him down, and then he'll throw a spin move where he'll throw his entire elbow like into your head, and you're pretty much done after that. I mean, you take a 200-pound arm and just throw it at your head, and it's going to knock you back a little bit. But I mean, I would say, he's just so big, he's so strong, but he can also move very well, which is dangerous for a lot of people that will be playing. So luckily, they're not going to block him on Saturdays.
So what about outside of the team? Like as far as opponents, like who's the best?
Probably the best D lineman that I went up against was 2021 against Jordan Davis. That was a monster.
Oh, Georgia. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I ended up being late in the game, and I remember, like, the first pass set I had against him, luckily, like, I was in the slide. I had the center with me. He stuck one arm out and, like, launched me like a good like, oh, I'm going to have to, like, actually get strong and not move anywhere. But
I forgot about Jordan Davis. That dude is a massive human.
Massive. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've gone against a lot of quality talent out there. I mean, every team has amazing athletes. I mean, even when you play teams like Tennessee Tech or Austin Peay or stuff like that, I mean, like they still got good athletes. It's just not that they're there for a reason, obviously, but I mean, they're good athletes. So I mean, it's an every week battle to make yourself the best you can possibly be to be able to defend against what you think you're going to see. I mean, it takes a lot of time in the film room to just you got to like go through each guy that you possibly could see on the field and kind of break down what their top moves are, so you have an arsenal ready to defend against them at all times.
Yeah, man, kind of building off that too. Like, what was coming straight out of high school? It ain't got to be your freshman year. It could be sophomore, could be junior, could be whatever. What was the biggest like eye opener like coming out of high school? Like, oh shoot, like these.
I mean, I think the biggest eye opener was like the speed of the game and how much it changes from going from high school to D1 SEC football. Because I mean, you're watching. I go back to a Gibbs game now and watch a game, and I'm like, man, it feels like everything's moving in slow motion. Like there's nothing. But like watching when I got to college, like watching the first practice, like not only how well everything was organized, but just how fast everything moves. Like, I mean, the team run set takes like maybe 20 to anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes now, just constant like. You're getting like 40 plays in that set, where in high school, like team run would take up an hour of the practice.
Yeah.
It just moves so fast now. And I mean, when you get out there watching the game or playing in the game, I mean, especially with the way our offense moves now, I mean, like it's snap, 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 all gas, no brakes. And that's something that it took me a minute to kind of get used to it, get my motor running to that speed. Because there's no more of you get the off week this week. You were playing like Union County or something like that. Like every week, somebody that's trying to outdo you in everything you do.
Kind of building off that too, man. I could go for questions for days. The Heupel comes in, changes the offense. Did that affect like how you trained? Going towards like the upbeat, quick tempo.
Like, I mean, I already trained myself at a very high rate. I've always been somewhat in shape. I mean, we used to run gassers and up downs for days, so I kind of got used to it as I got to college and just kind of kept it up. I mean, there's definitely some times, I mean, like we'll be in the offense and you'll get stuck with a drive that goes for like 12 to 15 plays, and I'll be asking for oxygen on the sidelines. But at the end of the day, one thing that our coach tells us that I think is very true is that a tired offensive lineman is going to beat a tired defensive lineman every day. And that's kind of a hard fact because I mean, every time that I've been in there, like I might be exhausted, but the thing about our offense that works so well is it tires the hell out of the defense, and it's a lot easier to block somebody that's got 2 steps and he's out of breath versus giving everybody about like 15 seconds before you snap the ball again to be able to kind of catch your breath.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways in which the offense is always an advantage. There's obviously disadvantages to a lot of things, but the things that you think would be a disadvantage end up to be used in our advantage against especially talented defenses. I mean, you saw the way we picked apart Alabama this year was just being able to kind of just move faster than them because they weren't able to get good defensive solid calls in for them to run successful defensive plays against us, and we just picked them apart.
I mean, you saw that in 21 as well against Alabama. I mean, I can remember a drive in the third quarter when we were in that stacked formation. I believe Jalen was, or I don't know who it was. It might have been Valus was in front of Said on the right side hash of the field. Hendon snaps the ball quick. Josh Jobs out of position. We hit Said for 60 as the touchdown. Like I'm like, this happens all the time. And it's just because people ain't looking at this. And this year, man, I mean, goodness gracious. I was just like, I felt like from 21 to 22, what we saw was not only like the brotherhood become a family, but like we saw so much. I felt like everybody knew what they were doing, like from every angle of it. And now I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to see what pulls up on this field in about 4 months. I cannot wait to see what happens. I know everybody's the biggest question is, okay, Hendon's gone. Now Joe's here. Man, I'm like, yo, I have seen zero drop off. And I'm not even in the locker room. I'm not in any of those conversations, but I'm like,
no, I mean, our motivation and like kind of vibe in the locker room has only gone up from last year. So I mean, it's going to be. I mean, we're all feeling excited about what we can accomplish this year, but we're all highly motivated. I mean, for a semester in May that we're in right now, it's like kind of the time for everybody to go home.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And you have the option to stay and work out if you want to. And this year is the most that I've seen guys stay to work out. Because, I stay every year because I live here. And I would take a vacation or something like that. But for most of the point, like I live here, so I'm going to work out downtown anyway. And I mean, this year has been one of the first years that I've seen so many guys take time to just stay here and actually train versus going out and doing vacations or going home or something like that. And, it kind of speaks a lot to what the coaching staff's been able to do and instill that work ethic into this program that it kind of like died out during COVID, because during COVID, nobody was wanting to spend time in the complex. Nobody really wanted to be, because nobody really knew what was going on. We never really got definitive answers on like how serious COVID ever was. I mean, I remember we had like our first day of spring practice, March 2020, and then we're told we're going home and we don't know why. Some virus that's going around. Yeah. You come back 4 months later and we're going to have a football season and we still don't know why. If we got sent home for 4 months, why are we now able to come back? Like, what changed?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you had a lot of guys that just didn't want to spend – you get 4 months to where you're telling you not to come around the campus or the complex, and then now you're wanting us to come back and spend that more time. Like, it took a lot of guys out of it a little bit, having that 4 months of freedom almost. I mean, do anything.
I get that 100%.
That's crazy, man. Well, look, bro, we're going to turn the show. Oh, man, we only got like 10 more minutes with you. So we're going to do gas or trash, bro. Okay, so this is a segment that we do on Wednesdays where we talk about a series of questions. This could be related to game days, Knoxville in general, or just like random topics. Right. Whether it, and all you saying is it gas? Like, is this fire? Like, yeah, this is it. Yeah. This is fire. Or is it trash? Is this booty meat draws nasty? Is it horrible? So we've already answered these questions together. Me and Turn have shows behind, but These the same show. These are the same questions we're gonna bring to the camp to ask the boys. So this is gonna be really funny. So, all right, number one is this: gas or trash. Thursday night openers.
Mm. It's like a middle for me because, like, on one hand, like everybody's watching you on the Thursday because you're the only game on, but then on the other hand, it's like, well, damn, it's in the middle of the week. I've had professors that didn't even cancel their class. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna Zoom it. You can watch it later. I'm like, well, I got a game. Like, I'm not worried about the lecture that you're teaching today. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel bad for the fans, like especially for the ones that got to work on a Friday. Like, damn, I'm going to come to the game at 8:00, get home at midnight, get up to work at 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
Bro,
I don't know. I mean, I like
my ASS to try to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I can't imagine it being a fun experience, but at the same time, I don't know.
that boy is it.
Yeah, I give it an yeah.
He said, yeah. Okay. We'll take that one. Okay. Gas or trash? I already know the answer to this. Obviously, gas or trash, the Vol walk.
Oh, it's gas, straight gas.
Gas.
I mean, walking down. I didn't forget. I think it was like either my sophomore or junior year. I had been listening to "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins, and like right when the drum solo part hit is right when like my feet stepped out of the bus. To go to the, like, oh, this is just perfect. We already know we're going to win this game. Like it's over now.
Yeah. Man, just let me strap up. We ready to go.
Let me go into my police song. Like I'm ready to play this game.
Oh man. Okay. Gas or trash? Third down for what?
Well, we got trash there for a little bit when I was a kid because they would play it like in game, like they play it near the end of the game when we're getting beat like 50. I'm like, all right, I think we get it. It's third down, but they're gonna convert anyway. I will say though, when they pull it out now, like every now and then they'll pull out a little third down for what? It's gas. Like
it's gas, bro.
Because they don't use it every single time. I think that's kind of like they overplayed it and then they didn't know when to not play it. But like now, like a little sparing, like I get with it. This is some gas.
Okay, now this ain't even gas or trash, but Bill, me and Turn talk about this all the time. Who we got to talk to change the third down song? Like, we need some hood trap music or something. Like,
we have been trying for years to try to get something different, but I mean, I want to say that's all Stir the Pearl, but I don't know who does the.
Look, bro, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I talk about this all the time. One of the best environment, like one of the best things I ever experienced. Me and Turn both had season tickets, but first game of the year, 22. First play of the game, T-Mac catches the pick, and Grove Street Party comes on. Yeah. I was like, bro, it was so turned. Like everybody was up, and I'm like, that's what we need that on third down, bro.
I know we've been trying to get people to start talking about it more, get more of that kind of stuff played into the. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a time and place for 80s rock, but eventually you got to move to the next decade.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, two more. Gas or trash? Bryn's Pizza.
You know, I think I've only had Bryn's like once.
Dang.
And it was good, but it wasn't like
it wasn't memorable though.
No, like I will say like I think I had like a chicken bacon ranch pizza from there, and like it was good, like it was gas, but it wasn't like enough for me to I guess like go back again.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay. It's also it's just a weird spot on the strip because I mean like there's nowhere to really park for anywhere.
Never.
Now it's never on the complex anyway, so.
Facts.
It is what it is.
All right, last gas or trash, and then we got just like some rapid fire questions. So gas or trash? And this is kind of, it's not really even a gas or trash. It's more of like, what do you prefer? So I don't know if you say gas or trash, but what do you prefer? 3:30 CBS or kneeling at night?
Just 3:30 CBS. I mean, that whole little intro thing's like ingrained in my head. Like when you get the 3:30 CBS game, like you're the game of the week. Like y'all are the top dogs that week. That's something that I've always memorized growing up. I mean, plus like going the 3 years with Pruitt, like every week it was like if we had a 3:30 CBS game, like he would let you know it was a 3:30 CBS game week because I mean that's when the top dogs play that week. I mean that's I will say there's nothing like kneeling at night, but those 3:30 games are crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, even with the 3:30 CBS game, I mean, look at Bama last year. You still get that
Yeah,
kneeling
you still
at
get
night.
the
Yeah. And but you only really get that like October, November, right?
Yeah.
Like when it starts to get darker a little earlier. Like I can remember when we played Florida at 3:30, bro. It was so bright at 7. Like everybody was like, it's not even nighttime yet.
I don't know. It has its moments. I would say, especially like early in the year, like I like to play the bigger games later in the afternoon. But like when we're playing the lower level teams and stuff like that, when those games are at noon are my favorite games because you get in there, you get your work in, and then you get to go home by the time like the 3:30 game will be wrapping up or the night games before they even start. So I mean, like you get the whole day to watch the rest of college football. You know, that's something that you don't really get a lot when you're playing, especially like when you're playing like a night or a midday game. You don't get to watch practically anybody else. When we went to Pitt this past year, I remember I was in the locker room watching the Alabama-Texas game like all the way up until we went out for warm-ups. So it was like, I mean, I'm going to watch football.
Yeah.
After we got a game to play, but I'm going to see what else is doing. So.
Yeah, that game was low key like so boring, bro. 19-20. I remember like it was yesterday.
I was sitting there hoping Texas would win the entire.
Of course, of course we were. Then what they do? Hey, man, see, there's so much we could talk about. Like them joining the SEC, thinking they have to come in here and win 12 games. I'm like, y'all are idiots. Like,
I'm more interested to see how they're going to split us all up. Like, what's the conference going to look like when you bring in 2 more teams?
I mean, right now it feels capped, right? It feels like you're playing all. I mean, gosh, bro. Currently, we got South Carolina and Georgia and Florida and Vanderbilt, Missouri, Kentucky. Right? You add another team into that. You know, I talked about this. We talk about this all the time. It's like, yo, I like the 3 permanents and rotate 6. Like, I think that would be amazing, bro.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you go with it. I've seen a couple of them break it up into like 14 pods or something like that. But I mean, I've gotten so used to the East and West divisions but I mean, like now you're bringing in 2 obviously West teams. I mean, Missouri's a West team for some reason. They're in the East division. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just like they got a bunch that they got to figure out. Plus, I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't bring in someone from like the ACC or something like that to kind of fill out more of an East Side view.
I can tell you why. They don't really want this work, bro. They don't really want it.
The ACC thinks that they're like the second best conference compared to us. So I mean, that's just
it's not true.
Big 12's already kind of given up on holding on to everybody.
They have.
Big 10's either Ohio State or Michigan every year, and then Pac-12's out west, and nobody really watches the Pac-12s.
Nobody's staying up till 11 to watch y'all score 75 points on each other.
Like, Oregon and LSU or UCLA are playing at 10 o'clock tonight. I'm like, that's cool.
Cool, man. Yeah.
I'll tell me what the score is tomorrow morning.
Bro, man, it's been awesome having you, Ollie, man. Just as we kind of wrap up the show today, man, just wanted to give you the opportunity. Obviously, your first ever camp, man, with your name on it, your brand. You've got an amazing group of Vols as well joining you, man. Just talk a little bit about the vision, the why behind the camp, but then also just share what you hope that this camp does, not just in the Gibbs community, but for Knoxville.
I'm just one thing to start off. So I'm really excited to host this camp with the introduction to NIL. This was about 2 years ago. It's been creating a lot of changes for college football, and I think the opportunity to be able to host this camp is huge for not only myself and my brand to kind of forward myself out there more, but I mean, again, it's also big for the community. And, it brings a lot of eyes to Gibbs High School, and that's kind of something I was hoping that I would do. Going through Gibbs, I talked about earlier about maybe having to go somewhere else to get noticed, but I want people to know that like this school is here and it's in the home of a great community with a lot of close knit connections and relationships that you can really do anything you want to from here and you're going to be supported no matter what you decide to do from a wide net of people. Something that I think holds true for me, being able to actually come back and do this opportunity at the high school shows that support's there. Even, I mean, I'm now 6 years removed from ever going to school there or having any connection to that high school, but they still want me to be able to come back, do things for them, which I think is awesome. But then again, being able to bring all this great talent that I'm bringing with me to this camp kind of helps. I think it helps get kids excited, especially in the area, to play football. I feel like playing football has kind of died out a little bit. I don't know. I don't feel like you see as many younger kids out there playing football as much as they enjoy basketball or baseball or something like that, and soccer nowadays. And so being able to show kids like, here's the people that you watch on Saturdays. Let us come teach you, instruct you about the joys and the funs of football and the fundamentals, and find something useful in it. I want to have kids come out here and take something away, like learn something meaningful for the camp that might stick with them throughout the rest of their lives, maybe the rest of their playing careers or something like that. I want to make a mark and a remembrance and be able to do something special that they'll be able to want to have again and again, because I want this to be a multi-year camp in the making. So I'm excited to have this opportunity, but I'm also already looking forward to future opportunities that I'll hopefully be able to have with the Ollie Lane camp.
That's awesome, man.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
No, I'm
excited. I'm very excited, man. It's going to be dope. And if you guys have kids, man, from 18 and under, high school, middle school kids, it's a 2-day camp at Gibbs High School, June 2nd and 3rd. Man, it's $50 still per camper. Right here on the screen, actually, there'll be a QR code right below. You can hit it, man. You can scan it with your phone. Get in there and go register. There are more kids piling in. And it's just going to be an amazing event, something massive for the community. The first day on the 2nd, it'll actually be the high school kids from 14 to 18. And then the second day, which is a Saturday, June 3rd, it'll be the younger kids from 8 to 13 years old, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to chop it up with you in person, dap you up, and then see all the folks, man. It's going to feel like a family reunion. But it's also just going to be a good time, man, to get some of these guys from the university as well around these kids, man. I think, gosh, y'all, I mean, I can remember people looking up to me, and I'm like, it's like, look, y'all are on a different level, and people magnify everything you do, and so you carry it so well. And for that, like, I thank you just for what y'all do and how y'all move. You move like businessmen, but you know that there's just so much. It's so much bigger than who you are. So
yeah.
But man, thank you, bro, for hopping on our show today, man. Y'all know what to do. Ollie, where can the people find you on Instagram, Twitter, wherever?
You can find me both. My Instagram and Twitter handles are Ollie_Lane78.
Follow the boy
there. I normally post a lot of stuff about football and occasionally some stuff about my fiance. So
Hey, welcome to the correct. Welcome, my brother. Get in there. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, man, this has been the midweek chat. Ollie, again, man, thanks for hopping on today.
Right.
Y'all, we will be back on Friday. Chop It Up Friday. What a massive, massive show we have. We can't wait. We'll see y'all then for the boy turn. You already know, man. It's your boy Ruck in the building. And it's straight up Tennessee, baby. Register your kids right now. Register your kids right now, right here. Right here.
Hit it.
Hit that
Autograph. They give an
Hey.
autograph too. Don't forget that.
autograph. Hey, I need mine. I need mine too. What you talking about? Like, we need them all.
I need an autograph. Everybody needs an autograph. Come. There's already 120. It's filling up quick.
Y'all already know what to do, man. Hit the QR code below, man. We'll see y'all back on Friday for Chop It Up Friday. This has been the midweek chat for the boy turn. It's your boy Ruck, straight up Tennessee, baby. We gone.